I'm Jason Mason, and today we are taking a detour from the usual tips to focus on the don'ts of recording. We are talking about what not to do on your next studio session. Avoid these common blunders to keep your recording process smooth and your results impressive. Let's jump right in and help you sidestep these potential pitfalls. First thing, wasting time with no game plan. Let's kick things off with a classical error. Walking into the studio without a game plan. Picture this: you're ready to cook a gourmet meal, but have no idea what ingredients you need. That's what it's like recording without a structured session plan. Arrive with your well-prepared session, maybe even a template, shortcuts memorized, and a clear schedule. So you have your first studio session with some kind of artist. Be prepared. You're gonna be nervous in the beginning, and that's totally normal, but have some kind of game plan. Have your session ready, check up your interface if it's working, and make a little check if your microphone is working. Next up, the entourage overload. The infamous entourage overload. Sure, it feels cool to roll deep with friends and family, but the studio is your creative battlefield, not a VIP lounge. Extra people can lead to distractions and unwanted noise, both literal and figurative. Limit the studio access to essential personnel only. It's cool to have people around in your studio space, but the more people that are around, the less work is getting done. So focus on the right amount of people in your studio and get shit done. The next important point, gear check negligence. Nothing throws off a studio day like a key piece of equipment failing at the worst possible moment. Whether it's a buzzing guitar that needs grounding or a synth that's lost its sync, every hiccup costs time and creativity and focus. So always conduct a regular gear check. Confirm that everything's functional, cables are intact, and all software is updated. Think of that: you have the biggest customer ever in your studio, you want to get started, and your software needs an update that takes about 1 hour of time. That could break your neck. That wouldn't be cool. So the day before your production, check if your software is updated and if everything is working well. And don't forget to check on your guitar cables. Those are getting broken on irregular. Once again, the loudness war. Don't fall victim to the loudness wars in your own studio session. Cranking up your monitors or headphones too loud can lead to distorted recordings and premature ear fatigue. Keep your monitoring levels moderate. This preserves the dynamics of your recording and keeps your ears sharp throughout the session. Sometimes the recording artist in your studio needs some kind of vibe, and that's understandable. But if you are, for example, the mixing engineer, don't turn up the volume too loud for the whole session. The next important point we have is underestimating the need of breaks. Here is a trap many fall into: skipping breaks. You might think powering through will get more done, but it's a shortcut to burnout. Regular breaks are essential. They help refresh your mind and ears, which is crucial for making sound decisions. The hearing of the mixing engineer will break down, the recording artist will go into like an evil spiral, and the whole project will sound bad in the worst case. So take little breaks in between of the sessions to keep everything going. Next one, disregarding the mix environment. A common oversight is neglecting the acoustic environment of your mix space. Recording in a poorly treated room can result in a mix that sounds great there, but nowhere else. Invest time in an understanding and improving your room's acoustics, or at least be aware of its limitations. The last sentence says it all. Be aware of its limitations. As I said in a video earlier, I've recorded a rap artist in an hotel room, and that hotel room didn't sound good, but I took care with it and the recording now sounds great. Be aware of the room, how it sounds, and try stuff out with your microphone to find out if you need to do something, and so you can improve the room to make the recording sound better. Next one, overprocessing. The allure of plugins and effects can be strong, but overprocessing is a real danger. Keep it simple. Use effects judiciously to enhance your sound, not mask it. More often than not, less is truly more when it comes to processing. As I'm always saying, one compressor, an equalizer, a limiter, that's the stuff you need for your tracks. Now we've got an underrated point right here. Overlooking the importance of a good take. Sometimes, in the rush to complete tracks, producers might settle for mediocre takes. It's crucial to prioritize getting the best possible performance from artists, as comping, combining multiple takes, can only do so much to improve a fundamentally flawed recording. The musician you're recording should be informed, and if he's not, it's your task to make it sound great. So let's see how good the recording artist in your studio is and get the best out of him. One more really important point right here: failing to back up the session. Not backing up work on irregular is a gamble that that can result in losing hours or even days of progress due to hardware failure or other technical issues. Regular backups are essential to safeguard your projects. Every producer knows this moment. You're producing a great track, you have all the plugins on your tracks, and the whole session shuts down. That's why we back up. If you have enough space on your hard drive, back the up. Next up, skipping pre-production. Jumping straight into recording without a pre-production phase, where you plan out the recording details, arrangements, and explore creative ideas, can result in a disorganized session and potentially unsatisfactory tracks. You need to know what the artist you're recording wants. Have a call with him, write with him on iMessage, or talk to him personally. You need to find out what you need to do, and that's why you need a pre-production. One thing you're noticing on your music production journey is probably latency. And that's the next point. Not preparing for latency issues. Failing to set up and test equipment to handle latency, especially when working with the digital audio workstations and various plugins, can disrupt the recording flow and affect performance during recording. The more plugins you have on your bus, the more latency you have in your DAW. So always have an eye on the latency in your DAW. In the worst case, it could mess up the one great take of your artist you're recording. One more important point, using inappropriate microphone techniques. Choosing the wrong microphone or placing it improperly can capture an inadequate sound or undesired audio artifacts. Understanding and applying proper microphone techniques is vital for capturing the best audio quality. Try stuff out with your microphone and see what sounds best in your situation. Just be experimental. The last point, over-reliance on post-production. Entering a session with the mentality that any issue can be fixed in post-production is a recipe for poor quality recordings. Strive for the best possible sound from the source to minimize the need for heavy editing and processing later. Have a good microphone, find out about the techniques you could use, and do your job well. Because post-production can do a hell lot of magic, but not all. AC/DC, the rock band from the 80s for example, if they record an album, they mostly spend time on pre-production and what interface, what microphone, what amplifier, what they're going to use. And then they record everything in 1-2 days, and the post-production takes about 1 week. So focus on the main production and what to do with your hardware. And there you have it. Some critical points you should focus on your next production. Steering clear of these pitfalls not only smooths your session, but elevates the quality of your final product. Hit that like button if you found those tips useful, and comment me your studio fail stories. However, until next time.